Greetings! Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, greetings, hi. If not, welcome back. You also get a greetings, hi. If you are here, you know that this is part 2 of a 2-part series on self-validation and what that looks like and how to implement, and advice and tips. So thank you so much for being here. If you haven't checked out part 1, you can go back, but you can also watch these videos sort of independently of each other. I've tried to structure them in a way that the themes are the same throughout. However, the topics are covered differently within their own right. This video is all about how to validate your emotions. The previous video was how to validate yourself, but in relation to external validation, in relation to your self-worth and self-esteem. And this video is how to validate in terms of what's going on internally. If you are struggling, especially with your mental health, if you are struggling to understand your emotions and how to work with them and regulate yourself and your nervous system, then this is the video for you. In the previous video, we spoke a little bit about the fact that you cannot outsource the work of understanding your intrinsic self-worth. You cannot outsource that work to other people. You cannot depend on the external to validate how you feel about yourself, your self-worth, how you see yourself, and your self-concept. In the same way, you cannot outsource the work of regulating your emotions and validating those emotions as they come up and feeling those through. Nobody else can do that work for you, and that is going to be the topic of discussion in this video. And there are going to be some helpful tips at the end with a practical example just to help you in terms of how to validate your own emotions. People who struggle with codependence or people-pleasing behaviors, they tend to form unhealthy attachments, and they struggle to regulate and validate their own emotions and move through them without needing somebody to be with them. Sometimes when we are hypervigilant as a protection mechanism, we have no idea how to regulate ourselves, and we can only be okay if other people are okay, and we can only feel okay if our emotions are positive emotions. This is how you validate emotions, whether or not they are positive, whether they are positive or negative. The 6 steps that you will need in order to validate your emotions is to notice your emotions, provide context to that emotion that is coming up, incorporate your values, normalize the emotion, accept the emotion, and take action in tackling the emotion. And we're going to unpack all 6 of these in this video. Notice your emotions. At the end of the day, I got to preface this by saying this comes down to an element of self-awareness, and I have a whole video on how to expand your awareness to a higher level of consciousness where you are aware of these things. You need to remember that emotions are not good or bad. It is the story that we tell ourselves about the emotion that makes them uncomfortable or even more difficult to move through. What you need to learn to do is notice when an emotion is coming up for you without giving it a label as good or bad, or seeing things as you think they should be rather than as they are. What this looks like is saying, okay, I notice that I am feeling overwhelmed. There are no stories attached to that overwhelm is a bad feeling, that other people can't see you feeling overwhelmed, that once you were overwhelmed and you reacted badly, or as a child, somebody ignored you. Whoa, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. The idea here is just to notice the emotion and give it a name. I am feeling overwhelmed. So the next step in this process of validating your emotions is to provide context. Context is you saying, why am I feeling this emotion? Why might it make sense that this emotion is coming up, right? So I'm feeling overwhelmed because I have a test next week. I'm feeling overwhelmed because things are a lot busier at work, and I do actually have a lot more on my plate. Now you have a reason, not a story, not a limiting belief. You are validating your emotion by providing a reason as to why it may make sense that that emotion is coming up. The third part of this process is to incorporate your values. So I am feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling overwhelmed, providing context, because I have a test next week. Now, how do I incorporate my values? It's really important to me that I am perceived as a hard worker. It's really important to me that I do well in this test because I am a diligent person. Diligence is important to me. Being a studious person is important to me. I really enjoy showing my capabilities through doing well in a test. Therefore, it makes sense that I might be a little bit anxious, a little bit overwhelmed, because my value system tells me that I care about this thing. It makes sense that I feel this way because my values are aligned with doing well in this test. It's not a character flaw that I'm feeling overwhelmed because I care about this thing and I want it to go well. Now, the next step in the process is to normalize. You know, I feel like if I had a friend in the same situation, they would also be overwhelmed. You know, it's okay to feel like this. They would also see this as a stressful situation. I bet you many people who have a test coming up, who care about doing well, who are studious people, might feel this way with an important test coming up next week. They might also feel anxious and overwhelmed. Therefore, I'm not some sort of crazy alien for feeling this emotion in this particular context. The fifth part of this process is to accept. You need to accept what you are feeling. Acceptance is a hard one because what happens is we often try to fight the emotion or tell ourselves that we shouldn't be feeling this way. So when you find that you are having resistance to the emotion, try to remember there's no right or wrong way to feel. There isn't a should or shouldn't. How you feel is how you feel. It's what you do with how you feel that is the defining marker of your life. So acceptance is key. I feel this way right now. It's okay that I feel this way, and I accept that I feel this way, and I won't fight it. I'll be with this emotion until it passes. Now, the final step is to take action. Certain emotions require different actions that would alleviate that feeling. Some emotions require you to sit in them. Some emotions, such as anger, require you to move your body or go for a walk. Some emotions require you just to rest. Some emotions require you to journal. Sometimes that oscillates and changes based on you as a person, what each emotion will require in order for you to move through that emotion. And that is how you validate your emotions. I know it's a short video, and I hope it's helpful, but these 6 pieces in this video really help me when I need to move through a difficult set of emotions to be like, you know what? I feel this way. It's okay that I feel this way. The reason I feel this way is I value A, B, and C. Therefore, it makes sense that I care. And other people might feel this way in this situation, provided the context. And I accept that I feel this way. And this is what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to move about it. I'm going to journal about it. I'm going to cry about it. I'm going to eat about it. Don't do that. It just depends on you. And I hope this was helpful. If you got to the end of the video, you know what to do.